Okay, so as I'm like getting ready to go to sleep, actually, let me just put my scarf on. I just came back from, not came back because I didn't leave my apartment. I just finished my Zoom call with my support group. So I go to a support group every Wednesday. It's called, no, I'm not gonna say what it's called because that's my safe space. But I go to a support group. Is this how I want to do this first? Hold on. No, because, yeah. I go to a support group, an abortion support group, every Wednesday from 8 to 9. And honestly, I can't even begin to express how finding this support group has changed my life. I think for a very large portion of, I don't want to call it a healing journey because I'm so tired of that phrase being used. A large portion of my journey, I felt very alone and very isolated and not understood. I wouldn't call it misunderstood. I just didn't feel understood because the people around me did not have that first-hand experience of having an abortion and finding this organization, clinic is the word. Sorry, I'm watching Princess and the Frog. Is my comfort movie, one of my comfort movies. I can quote this movie like if I was in the room writing the scripts. But yeah, finding that organization, well, that clinic has changed my life. I still have yet to find like an individual therapist, but that has been not a substitute, but a space that has allowed me to express freely, authentically, and mess imperfectly. That's the word I'm going to use. Imperfectly, my story, my feelings, just everything as it pertains to my abortion. But yeah, I came back from that just now. Not came back. Why I keep on saying come back? I just ended the call with them, and I just have like a little thoughts, I guess. So one of the questions that they asked us was, what is something that you saw on social media, like positives, when it comes to abortion? And I remember probably 2 months ago, I found this organization called We Testify, which amplifies the voices of those who've had an abortion. And I went to like one of the conferences that they had virtually, and I think it was like a destigmatizing conversation around abortions. And one of the things that they said, I think at the end of it, was someone has loved someone who has had an abortion. And that to me kind of like reframed my mind around my abortions, because my mind did a really good job of isolating myself in that experience. Like, you are the only person in this whole entire world full of gazillion people who have had no, like, you're the only person who has had an abortion. Like, it felt very isolating going through that experience. But then when I heard that, I was just like, everyone has loved someone who's had an abortion, whether you know it or not. You have loved someone or are in love with someone who has had an abortion. And yeah, that I forgot about that at one point, so I'm kind of happy I went to the group today. Because that definitely was something that reframed my mind in terms of how I felt afterwards. And there's something else somebody said. Let me see if I did write it down. Abortion, I'm definitely did not get like what they said. This was like after they said it, and I'm like, oh, maybe I should write that down. So memory has decreased, the accuracy just a little bit. But I wrote down abortion is a stage of grief that never goes away. It's like waves, and I could not agree more, because in this current moment, well, this month and last month, I didn't really cry when it came to my abortions. No, I lied. Last month I did. This month didn't. And it really is such an interesting experience going through. I love this song. No lines of royalty. I know myself. Your lifestyle's high, but your funds are low. You need to marry a little honey who daddy got dough. Okay, stop. What's I talking about? Let me load this down, because one thing about me, I'm gonna get distracted. Grief, right? This month I haven't really felt anything as it pertains to my abortion, which is so like surprising to me. But I know, you know, like when you go to the beach, the waves pull back and then they come and they pull back and I feel like that's me. You know, grief comes and goes as she pleases. Grief never asks for permission to visit. Grief gives an Irish goodbye, but such an abrupt hello. And yeah, I'm kind of happy that I haven't felt that intense emotions so far. But yeah, it will always be something that will live with me. It will be something that when I do have kids, I will think about this. Yeah. And it's crazy because like, what was I was like journaling or doing something, and that's what I was talking about. I was talking about grief, so it's kind of funny to see how that came up in today's session too. But yeah, those are my little thoughts. Not my little thoughts, those are my big thoughts. Call me Big Mama. Big Mama. Yeah, those are my thoughts as I finish or ending going to my group therapy session today. But yeah, time for me to rub my feet together, finish watching Princess and the Frog. Actually, am I gonna finish watching or am I gonna act it out? Might act it out. Actually, that's a lie. I'm gonna rub my feet together, watch it, sing along, say the lines, and enjoy my night. Peace.